Today I thought I'd do my morning routine on camera. Normally I sit in my kitchen nook and this is just me time where I wake up with a cup of coffee and I just write things that make me wake up and feel good, I suppose. But today I am on standby at work, so someone might call me at any moment about stuff. I don't really start working until, you know, an hour from now, but yeah, I need to be at my desk, and I thought, well, since, you know, instead of getting up earlier to have time for my morning routine, I will do it at my desk with my computer open over there, so I'm prepared for anything that might come at me. And I will start by going to my gratitude etc section, where, well, there are a few pages where I just fill in short stuff, like one sentence per, or one line per heading, and this is gratitude. And I always do this the day after, so most of these things are about yesterday. Well, maybe half of them, I don't know. So, well, gratitude. What am I grateful for? Today, I am grateful for my warm clothes. It's so cold, and yeah, I'm grateful for my sort of cozy clothes. So that's what I'm gonna put. Oh, it's too silvery. I can't see what I write. This was not. Yeah, you can see what I wrote. Wins or little victories. So that's about yesterday. So I'll have to check. What did I do yesterday? Well, I handled a crisis at work. Like a boss. Yeah, so that's enough for that. What do I want? And this is just something I think I heard it in a Michelle B video, and she referred to James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits. I think he used a whole month where he just wrote every morning, what do I want, and answered that question. So I'm doing that as well. Like it can be little things, it can be big things. What do I want? Right now I want to eat normally. I don't usually talk about eating or like fitness on here, but it has been Christmas and I've been sort of stuffing my face with fudge and what's it called? I don't know what it's called. Anyway, I feel like kind of fed up with sugar, so I'm gonna put eat normally, like eat food. So I want to feel healthy, like I'm eating, you know, fiber and stuff. Right, what do I look forward to? The weekend, I suppose. Yeah. To sleep in. Which is kind of funny. Sleep in Swedish, we say sleep out when we sleep for a long time. So, what did I do for myself yesterday? What did I do for myself? And like, to make myself feel good or to make my life better in some way, let's look at my habit tracker. I did all my exercising, so is that enough? I'm gonna look at my daily doodles as well. Well, I didn't socialize. I was invited to socialize, but I prioritized exercising and tidying up, so I think that was a good choice. So it can be anything, really. I mean, on New Year's Eve, I put something nice on because normally I just, you know, waddle around in cozy pants and, you know, you know, bought notebooks, gave up on a difficult task and talked to a friend instead. Like, it can be anything. What I learned about myself yesterday, what did I learn? That I can solve difficult problems, that I get good ideas even when I'm stressed out. My book is starting to smell so good, I guess, because I keep spraying it with, well, sometimes hairspray when my fixative has run out, but all these cold drawings are sprayed with things that smell. Okay, final one of these kind of pages. What I want to do for myself today. I want to, what do I want? I want to exercise. And I want to have some nice lunch. And I might want to, perhaps, if I have the time, tidy up a bit in my office. So that's it for the white gel pen that I use on these pages. So they are all filled in. Now I'm just going to check my weekly memory keeping to see that I filled in what I did yesterday. And I did. I filled in, I'm tired after 2 days travel, as, what's it called? Like, difficult day at work, with lots of crises to handle. So yes, I filled that in. I don't need to do that now. This morning, the habit tracker, I put my temperature and what time I woke up, and the rest of it I haven't done yet. So that's all done for the moment. Quite early, I tend to check my daily, or you know, the weekly spread, the daily box, to see what the day has in store, and I need to record a film, and I'm on standby the whole morning. There's another thing where I'm also kind of on standby. I need to see that, you know, there's a website that needs to be running properly. I need to finish polishing another website. I need to report stuff, I need to contact someone and tell them stuff. And then of course I have all my next action things to, you know, when I'm done with these things, I can just pick and choose from my next actions. All right, so I've filled in all of this. So the next thing on the agenda, I could go back here at the back of the book and write like general journaling, just morning pages, thoughts, ideas. But I don't want to. I'm not in that kind of mood where I want to just write randomly, so I'm going to skip that today. I'm going to go here and just mark or put today's date, which is the 14th, because I write daily doodles. You know, every spread is a day, and you know, I write something or draw something. So I'm just going to prepare by putting 14 here. Well, I'm going to go over this later to make it look good, hopefully. But I'm not too fussed about these pages. Like, I use them, because when I prep a book like this, I try to make it beautiful, because that attracts me to those pages, so that I write these sort of longhand journaling things. But my daily doodles pages, I just prep the backgrounds so that they're not just white, because that's not very inspiring. But then I allow myself to do really random stuff. It doesn't have to be pretty. Like, this was just therapy yesterday after work, when I was like sort of trying to calm down. I just made these swirls all over the page. So I don't have a goal of, well, of course I always try to make things pretty, but they usually don't turn out very nice. I mean, they're very random. They're very like this. I don't like this spread at all. This one I do like, so sometimes it turns out all right, but it's really just for me to de-stress. Is that a word? So, and I mean, afterwards, in a year, when I flip through this book, these pages are filled with memories. So that's the main thing. Because on New Year's Eve, me and my husband went through the books from last year, just check, you know, what happened this year. A look back at the year. And I noticed that I wanted to know more. I wanted more memories to be recorded than I had done. So that's why I prepared these pages, so that I can put more like tiny banal details, like what we ate, what we watched, things like that. So that's what these pages are for. Plus, you know, doodling and just trying to pretty things up. Yep. So this I'm going to, as I said, I prepared the date for today, but I usually fill this in while I'm waiting for dinner to cook. So it'll have to wait until tonight. Which means that I only have one more morning routine thing to do, which is to journal about a project and draw something. And yesterday I only drew something and I didn't journal about projects, so I sort of skipped that task or step in my morning routine. So I don't know, do I journal about two things today, or do I journal here and draw something here? I'm not sure yet, but I am going to start by journaling about the dishes again, because I have trouble with my dishes. So I put the heading in the middle like this, and yeah, and then I journal about obstacles up here and the way out up here, my goal down here, and my why down here. So the obstacles, well, I came up with a solution where I put my world building book downstairs to lure me downstairs, so that when I was downstairs I would see that the dishes needed handling. The thing is that I'm now in a sort of a period of time where I don't want to world build, so that particular like lure or trap isn't working. So I'm going to put that. At the current time, my solution doesn't work. So my solution with the Sila book doesn't work when I'm not in the mood for world building. I don't want to go downstairs. That's the big problem. Because my plan is to put the dishes away at lunch while I'm waiting for lunch to cook. It's just that I want to sit in my kitchen nook upstairs when I eat lunch. I don't want to go downstairs, so it's a problem. And when I don't go downstairs, I don't see the dishes. So I'm not triggered to do them. So what is the solution, the way out of this dilemma? I don't know, but the goal is to be a person like my identity, who puts the dishes away every single day. As soon as I see it, that it's needed. And I have errands downstairs. So that I am reminded about the dishes. So that's the goal, to be a person who goes downstairs, sees the dishes and puts them away. And my why is that it helps my husband because he does the cooking. But apparently that's not enough of a why, because I tend to put the dishes away in the evening at the same time that he's cooking, because it's so boring to do it that it's more fun when I have company, simply. And then I'm in the way for his cooking because our kitchen is kind of small. So I'm going to put on obstacles that I tend to do it in the evenings, and I'm in the way for my husband, of my husband. So more why, well, it may, you know, if you put the dishes away constantly, it just makes your life run more smoothly. And I hate when things are in the way, because I like to, when I get a whim or the idea to do something, I want to be able to just go ahead and do it instead of wading through clutter. And dishes on, like in the sink and everywhere, is clutter that I have to wade through. So that's very irritating, and yeah, I really don't like that. So I think that's a stronger why, that I hate things that are in the way. So that's, you know, I want things to run smoothly without being hampered by stuff. So, new solution, because the world building book didn't work. How do I lure myself downstairs? I don't know. So I have to lure myself downstairs. But how? And I don't know. What would be a reason, an attractive reason, to go downstairs in the middle of the day when all I really want is to sit in my nook, eat lunch and watch YouTube and play with my planner and maybe read books? Is there anything else? Well, wait a minute. What if I take a couple of books that I really want to read and my wait I can put, okay, bring two attractive books down to the dining room and keep them there. And it would be really good if I could get really engaged in a book, like a novel that sort of pulls me to it. So engaging. And I think this is like the big thing. If I go downstairs with my iPad every morning and put it in the dining room, so I can't store it downstairs because I need it for stuff all the time, but I can be without it the whole morning. So if I go downstairs after breakfast, put the iPad in the dining room and keep it there until lunch, I will be lured downstairs. I think I will. We'll see. I'll try it out. And put it. So, since I came up with this solution, I need to maybe track it. It needs to become part of my morning routine. So, today is already, oops, well, I can do it. I can do it. I'm gonna put up here, there's almost no room. Go downstairs with the iPad. And here and here. in the beginning, when I start trying to establish a new habit, I tend to put it on my weekly, on every daily box, because that way I really actually see it and I need to cross it off, you know, on my actual weekly. But in the long run, I think I should maybe put it here, because these things, like taking my temperature and putting the time I wake up, are the first things I do every day. So the next thing should be go downstairs with the iPad. But I think that's at a later stage. Right now, when it's really new, a new idea, I need to be reminded in a more like direct way, if that makes sense. So I'm going to put on this post-it for next week, where I haven't set it up yet, the weekly spread. So the things I need to put in, I put on that post-it. So yay, that's the point of project journaling. That and it's I mean, I'm almost surprised that I actually came up with something good on camera. But that is the goal of my project journaling. I put something that I struggle with here. I explore what the obstacles are, what I want, what the outcome, you know, the perfect outcome, why I want this, and then I brainstorm solutions. And when I come up with solutions, I put them like on my next actions or habit tracker or whatever, project pages back here. So the only thing that's left to do is to draw a sketch on this page then, since I've already done this one. But I don't have my coal and pencils up here, so I need to get those. And there's my pen pouch, and I screenshotted, is that the word? Well, I made a screenshot of a picture or a still from a TV series, and I'm going to draw that face. I'm not going to show you the reference image, but I am going to show you my process. So I don't have to do a whole like finished, polished drawing like this one. I really only need to do like this, a quick sketch, like 2 minutes. But most of the time I sort of well, I can't stop. When I start, I can't stop. So, well, some of them become, I don't finish them, as it were, but most of them actually are, well, maybe half of them I work on them for quite a while. But today I only have 20 minutes. In 20 minutes I have to start working, so this will be quite a quick sketch. Okay, I've never done this on camera, so I might have to be quiet for a while so that I can think and observe the reference image. And usually I sit in my chair, you know, not like this, so it's a different angle for my hand and everything, so it might be more difficult. Okay, I'm gonna shut up now. No, this is... always tend to make noses too big because the natural tendency is to make them too small, make eyes too big and noses too small. So while trying to combat that tendency, make them too big. Okay, I'm just gonna check if I'm on the right path. Not really. The eyes are... Okay, so that's, I mean, this is coal, maybe I should have said. So the next step is this thing that I have no idea what it's called. It's sort of like a paper stick. So I'm just going to smudge everything because I like the look of that. And this is a kneadable eraser. Oops. It's kind of unpredictable, this thing. Sometimes it picks up so much coal that the lines get much darker than I expect. And it's not very, like, precise. But that's also one of the things I like about it, because when you can't be too precise, I don't know, it can be so, when you use a pencil and have to really decide on where the lines go, it can be, I don't want to make decisions too early. I want to keep my options open, and making more, like, what's it called, like fuzzy lines helps me put off the inevitable. I don't want to make decisions until I really know what's sort of going on in the image. I don't know if that makes sense, but there you have it. I learned this about myself during the drawing course I attended in October, because I was told to make decisions, to, you know, decide on where the lines should go and sort of bring out the, well, whatever. And I thought, I don't want to. I want to keep my options open. And it really made sense. You know, this channel is called Plan with Nay, or NE. That is extroverted intuition, which is a function in my MBTI stack, since I'm an INTP. And it really made sense that, well, for one, I need to sort of see, I need my SI, introverted sensing, needs to see things before I revise them. It's like when I write, when I draw, when I decorate the house, I can't, like, I don't know from the beginning that this is what I'm going to do and it's going to look great. No, I need to put things down and then see what works and what doesn't, and then revise. And so that's one part of how I work. And the other one is NE, or NE, extroverted intuition, that wants to play and not get sort of imprisoned by rules. It needs everything to be voluntary and, you know, keep options open, as I said. So I really learned how that applies to my drawing as well. So I didn't just learn things about drawing, I learned things about myself, which was interesting. Okay, let's see where we're at. This looks absolutely horrendous. Okay. I'm hating this picture at the moment. But, you know, I hated this one as well. I really hated it. And then, you know, I added things until I didn't hate it. So, to learn something, you need to soldier through your failures, I think. It's the difference between people who get proficient and those who don't, I think, is that, you know, you get discouraged, but you still continue. And you only do that with things you really want to do, because, you know, it takes a lot of work. It's too, this line is all wrong. All wrong. Okay, so, I mean, it is more difficult to do this on camera and not in my cozy chair. So that's sort of my excuse. I might stop this and pick it up this afternoon or at lunch. Forehead should be broader. And it's just, there's something so wrong about this. Let's try to use a pencil instead for a while, just see what happens. Draw some lines. I mean, I get it, it is a face. If you can't draw, if, you know, you, as in anyone who's watching this, you're probably thinking, what's wrong with that? It's a face. And it is, but I want something else. Well, for one, I want it to look like the original, and I also want a particular style. I want the picture to look effortless somehow. And like, somehow I think you can see in a picture if, not if it was easy to do, but if you've overworked something or if you've been struggling with something, I think it, you know, you can tell from the finished drawing that this wasn't easy and they were struggling. And it's not, it doesn't look relaxed. And I want my drawings to look relaxed. Like I just threw them together, which I'm not there yet at all, but that's a goal. And I mean, it usually takes a while for me to, like these images, I've maybe, I sat an hour or something. Oh, that's all wrong. Wrong lines. Okay. So, nose is still not quite right. Like it's sticking out more. A cute little bump that I'm not sort of getting right. This bump is also quite big at the eyebrow. sometimes I find it's hard to believe my eyes. Like, does he really look that way? Yes, he does. You need to trust what you're seeing when you're drawing. Unless you're seeing the wrong thing. But it's just, you have this idea of what a face looks like, what eyes look like, and you try to draw things from memory, even though you have a face in front of you that is completely unique, and you need to really look, what does this face look like? And even though it's really, you know, it can be wonky and asymmetrical, we're all asymmetrical, but in weird ways that you think, if I draw this, it will look really weird. No, this is wrong. But once you draw those really weird shadows and lines, you realize, well, now it looks like the reference image because I drew what I actually saw. So that's kind of one struggle and goal I have, to actually draw what I see and trust my eyes. For anyone who's been told, like me, that a real artist doesn't use an eraser, that is such bullshit, because it's a tool like any other. It's a tool that brings out the white in an image. This is a tool that brings out the black in an image. Like, what? Why would an eraser be... you know, using an eraser would be a sign that you don't know what you're doing. No, if you're the kind of person who can draw or paint something without changing stuff, like maybe you're a really good watercolor artist and you can see in your mind's eye where you're going and you just do it. Well, congratulations, you probably have extroverted sensing or something. Or extroverted thinking, so that you can plan ahead and just know, maybe introverted intuition, so you know everything before you start. Well, that's not the only way to be. Again, if you have introverted sensing, you probably need to see a version of something to see what is wrong with it and to rework it. This is my interpretation. I might be wrong about the MBTI stuff, but that's how I work. I mean, I need to see markings on the paper in order to decide what works and what doesn't, and where I need to, you know, change things and stuff. So, this is me giving you permission to use an eraser. He has bigger eyes than this. So, I should... And they're sort of... I don't know. Like, they're drawn out like this. So I'm really feeling like I want to abandon this now, especially since I'm on camera. I don't like people seeing my process, but because I feel stressed. I feel like this is boring and I need to get on with it. Because you want to see a good result and not this constant back and forth. But this is my morning routine. This is how I wake up. This is how I work on my skills. And I mean, that's how you work on anything. You chip at it until it behaves. Okay, mouth. Where are we at with the mouth? He's got a beautiful mouth. But this one, I mean, this one looks like it's too conventionally handsome, I think, so far. The reference image and the person I'm drawing doesn't look like this. He's more, I mean, this looks like a Ken doll or something. So I think I'm going to have to fix that somehow, but I might not be able to on a table like this. I might have to sit in my chair with the book sort of angled in a different way. So this is me forewarning you that I might switch off the camera soon. I'm just going to check my emails to see that they're not that nothing is happening, and nothing is. What's the time? Oh, it's 9 o'clock. Oh, I really need to start working. So, well, you'll probably see this in a later video because I'm going to continue working on it, probably finish it, spray it, and then you're gonna see it when I flip through to talk about other stuff. So, and I haven't eaten my porridge yet, so I need to do that. Okay, but it's a face, you know, and this is what I do in the mornings, and yeah, so I guess that's it. Ta-da!